Hey everybody, it's Heather the Crochet Witch. How are you guys doing? So, big announcement day, which was actually meant to be tomorrow's video, but I looked up the dates for the summer month, and I swear, when I looked them up 2 months ago when I was planning this, I swear that it said June 23rd. I swear it did. Apparently, everybody but me knew that the first day of summer was actually yesterday, June 21st. So, I hope that you have had a very happy first day of summer, because it's not tomorrow. It was yesterday. That being said, we're just gonna pretend that today is the first day of summer. And my exciting news, which I've hinted about, I think I've came directly out and said that I was going to do this, but I'm officially announcing it today. Today is going to be the second running of my Stranger Things make-along. What is the Stranger Things make-along, you ask? If you've been around my channel for any amount of time, you know my hardcore fandom, affinity, love, massive love for all things Stranger Things. You know how much they mean to me, like every character ever on that show pretty much. Except for one of the characters from the new season. Jason, I'm looking at you. I don't see him ever redeeming himself, for those of you who've seen season 4. Just saying. Sorry. My opinion's not much of a spoiler. You guys can like who you like. I like who I like. But if you haven't seen it and you watch it, you can be like, oh yeah, that's that guy that Heather doesn't like. It takes a special someone for me to not like you in Stranger Things. Well, anyway, because I appreciate a good villain, as we all know. Billy, I miss you. But, anyway, getting back to the real video, real topic of the video. Last year was the first one that we did, and I would call it a success, because actually we were a lot smaller of like a family of a group last year, and there's a lot more of us this year. And what it is, it's not a specific project or anything like that. It's not even, you don't even have to be a fan of the show to participate. I've got a special set of rules that will be hopefully all inclusive to everybody. What it is a summer-long make-along, as the name implies. It was meant to start the first day of summer, which was June 21st. So it is starting today, the first day that I realized it was summer. And it is going to go all the way up until the end of summer. We're going to say September 22nd, the last day of summer, first day of fall, however you want to look at that. There will be a post in my Facebook group by the time this video is up. So my Facebook group is always linked below. If you don't have Facebook and you would like to participate, you can, my email is linked down below, and my Instagram is linked down below. You can feel free to direct message me. On Instagram, you can email it to me. Unfortunately, people won't get to see your beautiful work, because there was a whole thing last year with somebody else's make-along, and like when they wanted to share people's work, even with permission, other people were not thrilled with that, and it became a whole thing. So I won't be sharing that even with permission. But if you're on Facebook, if you're in the Facebook group, you can do that. Or and that's where I will be. Like I said, I will put your name if you send me the entry. Also, when I do the drawing, I will put your name in that. If you want people to see it, and you're on Instagram, you could use the hashtag Stranger Summer Mal. I will put that at the bottom of the screen here. Hopefully I remember that. But that would be the hashtag that I think we should use also. That won't be for a prize. I'm gonna just do the prize out of the entries, mostly on my Facebook group, but I will accept the direct messaging if you don't have Facebook. Those are like my special rules for that, because I do want to include everybody. Now, for those fans of the show, basically the item, if you're not a fan of the show, still listen in, because I do have a way for you to participate. Basically, just convince me that it belongs in the show. You could recreate an item from the show. There are so many. Kay and I were going through one day, and we were looking at crochet blankets in all throughout the seasons. You know that last year, her and I both did the Hopper Cabin blanket, which, if I remember, I will pop a picture up in here also. Oh, there's so much editing I have to do already in this video. I hope I remember. Let me see. There is a crochet blanket. In the very first episode, in the first scene, Hopper has a crochet blanket on his couch, which actually ends up in season 2 at Dustin's mom's house on the back of her chair. There's a different crochet blanket in season 3 on the back of Dustin's mom's chair. Erica on her bed in season 2 has this, I think it's knit. If anybody knows if that is knit or crochet or knows the pattern for it, especially if it's crochet, I'm not that great at knitting, but if anybody knows what that pattern is on Erica's bed when she's doing that scene with Lucas's He-Man doll and her Barbie doll, and they're, like, I think they're kissing or whatever, and he finds her. The blanket on her bed is so pretty. But there's that anyway. Nancy has a blanket and pillow set that's like the pillow is just a granny squared cover for a pillow. And then the blanket, it's pink and blue granny square, like a big granny square basically. There's a lot of different, so you could recreate something anyway from that. Like if you can catch it in the thing. There's none, I think the one in Mike's basement is shown pretty well at some points, but there's none that are like completely shown that well, unless you want to like go through and like pause the video and that kind of thing. I haven't found like any specific patterns or any pages that may show like in full detail the pictures, but your creative detail on it, feel free to use your creativity for that. You could make something from the show, like dolls of something from the show. You could, oh my gosh, if you made like a crochet hopper or something, oh, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. You could use inspiration from, I used this idea last year and I never got around to making it myself, but you could use things like clothes from them, like Will, when his Will the Wise costume, his hat, I thought that would be pretty cool. It's almost like, it's a wizard's hat, but it's almost like a dunce cap, but with silver stars. You could crochet stars on a purple dunce cap, and that's the Will the Wise hat. There's infinite, just basically whatever you make, convince me that it belongs in the Stranger Things universe, whether it's a recreation of that, whether it's one of the characters, whether it's something the characters would use. Like basically the sky's the limit as far as that goes. I'm more than happy if you make up a whole little story for your item and how it would be in the crochet or in the universe. I'm totally cool with that. And for those of you who do not partake in Stranger Things, that's okay. I really suggest that you check out the show, but like wholeheartly, I cannot suggest anything more in my life, but it's okay. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. If you want to participate and you want to make anything that belongs in the 80s, because I, at heart, am an 80s girl, and that is the main draw for me, like from the beginning with Stranger Things, was the 80s. So if you want to make something 80s inspired, sky's the limit there. Just sky's the limit. I will happily accept anything fiber related. Crochet, knitting, weaving, loom knitting, cross stitch. I can't think of anything else. Macrame. I can't think of any. In fact, speaking of macrame, in Mike Wheeler's basement, there was a macrame piece on his door. So speaking of recreations, if you do macrame and that was something that interests you, you might want to check that out. Yeah, so any kind of like fiber art type of project, anything that you can convince me belongs in Stranger Things in some way, or anything from the 80s if you're not a Stranger Things fan. I think that is my qualifications for entering. There will be prizes drawn at the end of the Stranger Things Mal. It'll depend on how many people enter. Last year, I think there was there only 8 or 10 last year? I can't remember. It was a small amount, so I only did one prize, but it was instead of one of my little envelopes, like my Make Your Day, Brighten Your Day giveaways, it was an actual like box prize. So it just depends, like if for some reason we get like the whole Stranger Things fan club making along, this time, then there'll be a lot more prizes. We'll just figure it out as we go along, right? And I like to keep them a surprise. So we're going to do that. Then something I wanted to show you that I have been working on for this, because at the time of this video, I thought that when I released this video, I was going to have another day off. So I thought I might have it done by then. So by the time you see this video, I probably won't have it done. Hopefully, upcoming soon, I will be able to make another video and say that I have the pattern done and the pattern out. But I'm going to show you what I made anyway, because it relates to this. And because I'm hoping over this summer to have a whole project made out of this. But, so I took, remember the other day when I said I had this left over, and it's just a little ball of Red Heart with Love, and it's only like this big, and it was one of my scrap balls. And I said, although I did something with this. So I took this, and I took another scrap ball, like I've talked about it before. I consider like anything I've put some use in, kind of wibbly wobbly not janky, but wibbly wobbly, not a full skein. So I've taken a scrap skein, taken a scrap ball, Red Heart with Love, and then this is a Bernat Super Value. This one is in the color Walnut, and this might look familiar to you because this one, I'm not sure if I have the picture or not, but if I remember and if I have a picture of it, I'm going to put in a picture of the Demidog that I made last year. I was very proud of him because I said he's a little bit derpy and he's not perfect by any means because amigurumi is not my thing, but I was very proud of him. This is the Demidog color that I used for him. So I put these 3 together and I made something that I thought I would try to write the pattern down for and release for you guys. Maybe one day even have a tutorial. But are you guys ready? I made a Demogorgon square. I hope by the end of the summer to have a Demogorgon blanket. He's pretty 3D. He will flatten out. Like if you want a flat blanket, he will flatten out. I had him flat on the table, but he comes in 2 pieces that are crocheted together, so he's pretty thick. So I mean, he sits, plus he, in the show, right? In the show, he looks like this a lot, doesn't he? If I can get him. So, in theory, you could get him on the blanket. That'd be kind of a crazy looking blanket, wouldn't it? Anyway, you get the idea. But yeah, so I've been working on this. I wanted to do this last year and I just never got the time. But I'm pretty proud of him. I'm pretty proud of this guy. I was thinking about alternating him in Demogorgon, like in the Demogorgon. Ignore the pink. When I thought this was going to be like basically a prototype design at first, I didn't think anybody would see the very first one I made. This was the very first one that I made. And for some reason, when I was designing, I thought people would see, okay, underneath this is obviously this, and I thought people would see this part of it on this side. And I didn't want, since I don't have a whole lot of this red, I didn't want to use up the red on the prototype. So, prototype, I sound so professional on the, on the first one. So I used pink because I had a scrap ball of pink. On my other squares, I will not have a pink circle because I thought that would be like the inside of his mouth on, I thought wrong is basically, but pretend it's brown and it would be fine. Just, we're going to pretend it's June 21st and we're going to pretend it's a brown square. It's what we're going to do. But yeah. So yeah, hopefully very soon there'll be a pattern also. And then, like I said, when I get a little more time to film one, there'll be a tutorial. I do have it as a granny square back. But we could certainly do, you could do a solid square, out here too. I played around with the idea of doing a solid square, but I like the thought of the holes of the granny square being there and, emphasizing the solid petals of the Demogorgon's mouth like that. I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of him. But yeah, so yay. I'm also hoping to get done a Mad Max blanket for the summer from some of the Hobby Lobby yarn that I showed you. I'm hoping to do a Rainbow Room shawl. For those of you who have seen season 4, you definitely know what the Rainbow Room is. And I would really like to create that green ripple blanket that is in Hopper's trailer in season 1 and Dustin's mom's chair in season 2. But we'll see if I have time for all of that. I hope so, but we'll see how it goes. Time gets away, man, and work has really been kicking my butt. So this is, I don't know if I have to say this because it's not a giveaway per se, but to state the obvious, this is not sponsored by YouTube or anything like that. Any prizes that will come of this will not be sponsored by Facebook, will not be sponsored obviously by Netflix or Stranger Things. This is only Heather the Crochet Witch inspired giveaway prize thing. The prizes will be only sponsored by me. And I would say I don't usually open up. Well, I don't usually open up worldwide shipping. But I want to include everybody still, like I do with my giveaways. If you can, everybody can enter worldwide. Obviously, if you are out of the US, Canada area, your prize may be a gift card. We shall see. If I strike it rich, I may include you in the mailing of prizes also. I will just disclaimer that since the prizes are surprise gifts right now, because I don't know how many people are entering anyway, we're just going to leave it at that. And I think that's all the information. Once again, it's running to September 22nd. Is that everything, you guys? If there's any questions? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's everything. So I am very excited. I will have 2 threads up, actually, just like last year. I will have a progress thread and I will have a finish thread. The winners will be drawn from the finish thread, but since it's a summer-long thing, I expect it to take some time, especially if they're big projects. So I totally want to see like your progress on things as they're going. I want to see people's like ideas and thoughts and how things are coming together. I just think it's the coolest thing. Like, I think everything like Stranger Things related and 80s related is like the coolest thing ever. So you know that already. So I'm going to end this video and get it up since I missed the first day of summer. And I will talk to you guys very soon. I cannot wait to see everything that you guys make. So, all right, I will see you soon. All right. I love you guys. Bye, guys.